I here now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your wife. Congratulations.
Dominique and Walter Wallace Jr.'s wedding day last October sealed a love story years in the making.
And you were pregnant at the time?
Yeah.
How far along were you?
Any day now.
Mr. and Mrs. Wallace were already parenting 4 kids together.
What did you think your future was going to look like?
Like still being with our kids as a whole family.
It was supposed to be happily ever after.
Yeah.
But less than a month after wedded bliss, Walter Wallace Jr. was shot by police while in the midst of a mental health crisis.
Put the knife down now!
Walter's family had called 911 for help. Officers encountering Walter holding a knife.
Man, back up!
That's his mother, frantically trying to protect her son.
Man, back up! Put the knife down! Shoot him.
Killed less than 60 seconds after police arrived.
A marriage is a soul bonding. When they took his life, my life was taken too.
Walter's death became a rallying cry.
Think about how a call for help ends up as part of a death sequence is chilling.
Tonight, we examine the intersection of policing and mental health with the Wallace family, telling their full story for the first time.
They murdered him.
And the Philadelphia Police Commissioner on what went wrong
Put the knife down!
in those 60 seconds and what, if anything, can be done to fix the system.
I have absolutely no issue with holding officers accountable and holding myself accountable.
West Philly is where you find generations of Black, working class, and working poor people. There's a long history of tension and violence between Philadelphia police and the Black community.
West Philadelphia is where 27-year-old Walter Wallace Jr. grew up. His dad, Walter Sr., a proud sanitation worker. His mom, Kathy, had her hands full with Walter and his 3 siblings.
What kind of son was he?
He was a normal son. He was a pain in my behind a lot of times, man. I'm gonna keep it real, you know what I mean?
Kathy, when you close your eyes, what memories of him come to mind?
He liked it to sing, like rap.
You got yours, and I got mine.
But for all his brightness, Walter struggled with mental illness, starting as early as 6 years old. Eventually, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
I understand he was on lithium, is that right?
Adderall, Abilify.
Close to 12, 13 different types of medicine.
So you guys had been through the ringer.
Yeah.
Walter's emotions, his family says, sometimes led him to act out in violent ways. He'd faced trouble with the law, serving time in jail in 2017. But his father says he was a devoted dad who, after a series of odd jobs, found steady work during the pandemic as a DoorDash driver. Walter's ultimate dream was to make it big one day with his music.
We protesting, trying to get things right. Y'all want to get things right. Y'all want us to die.
Ironically calling out policing and George Floyd's death in his song Black Hearted.
It's a hard pill to swallow, you know what I mean? I was thinking about my kids burying me, and I had to bury my kids. It's like the devil's riding over your back.
It was a day brimming with hope for Dominique and Walter.
I was supposed to give birth that day.
That was your due date?
Yeah.
Walter had gone to his parents' house after his car had gone missing days earlier, a devastating blow.
He going around looking for his car, because that's where his income came from.
Because he's a DoorDash driver, so this isn't just he's lost his car, he's lost his livelihood.
Yeah.
When Dominique and Walter reported his car missing, she says the police laughed at them. Walter's family says he was triggered into a mental health crisis.
Yeah, police 356, how may I help you? I'm the daughter to my mother and my father, and my brothers, they called the cops earlier, and the cops is not doing nothing. He's over there hitting my mother and my father. Any weapons involved? No, but he on probation and everything. He got a case for being violent and everything. He got a whole record. We'll be en route to help them out, but stay on the line for medics, okay?
We was arguing. We wasn't fighting.
I was trying to chase him and I fell.
Philadelphia Police 174.
Why were you chasing him? What were you trying to do?
Sometimes he acts real crazy at times, so I didn't want him to act up.
He was in need for psychiatric help.
His wife, Dominique, had been called to the house to help calm Walter down.
I'm telling him, like, we need to go home. Like, I don't want to deal with the police. You don't want to deal with the police.
And they had reason to worry. Reports have shown that people with untreated mental illness are 16 times more likely to be killed during a police encounter.
Yeah, just have the officers use caution to respond to that. This is an ongoing domestic issue.
What's going on?
He came outside. He had the knife in his hand.
Put the knife down now! Put the knife down now!
After arriving, within 15 seconds, you can clearly hear his wife shouting more than once, he's mental.
What were you trying to communicate to the officers who were responding?
He needs help. In that moment, it just is like, y'all adding fuel to the fire.
Back up! Back up! Back
I was trying to grab him, but he had swung me out the way.
Not only were police body cams capturing the incident, neighbors were also recording.
Put the knife down! Shoot him. Move!
Did they spend a lot of time talking to him?
No.
They ain't say nothing.
I'm like, whoa. When he shot him, he was going down, he still was opening up on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he just fell.
That was it. I mean, he took his last breath.
Less than 1 minute after they arrived on scene, Walter Wallace Jr. is dead. The two officers fired 14 rounds, 10 bullets striking Walter.
They had it set in their mind to crucify my son. And that's exactly what they did. You supposed to come and help. And help didn't come like the help we needed.
It's like, what the hell y'all just do? My body going through shock. I'm shaking.
Robert Gonzalez has spent his career studying these interactions, helping change training techniques at the NYPD after Eric Garner's death.
He doesn't appear to be lunging at anyone. He doesn't lunge at the police officers. He's walking around. Clearly he's agitated. Both officers are yelling at him to put down the knife.
Gonzalez says the problem with Walter's case began at the 911 call.
The sister actually tells the 911 dispatcher that the suspect has a record. Was it a criminal record? Was it a medical record? It was the 911 dispatcher, in my opinion, who failed to ask the right questions so that the police officer can be armed on how to deal with this particular situation.
Put the knife down! Put the knife down!
In addition to being ill-informed, the officers were also ill-equipped. In Philadelphia, most officers are not issued less lethal forms of force, like a taser. Gonzalez says the only option they could use to disarm him at that point was their gun.
I believe when he failed to comply, after maybe the 6th or 7th attempt, they realized that he was never going to drop the knife. Then you need to use deadly physical force. So in my opinion, this was a justified shooting. Me personally, I probably wouldn't have discharged my firearm if the officers would have continued to maintain the zone of safety, if they would have requested additional backup where someone who responded might have had a taser, and then perhaps that would have saved the life in this situation.
There are many things that made Walter Wallace more vulnerable to the type of violence that he experienced. Being black does this. Being male does this. Struggling with mental illness does this. And living in a neighborhood that is considered high crime or high risk does this.
For the Wallace family, the pain is present in many ways.
I cry every night. I cry every night. I want my son.
I regret myself. I should have jumped in front of him and took the bullets. You know what I mean? I just froze.
That moment haunts you.
It's gonna haunt me the rest of my life.
When we come back, tough questions for Philadelphia's police commissioner.
When you look at that video, what went wrong that day?
Get out of my house!
And we go inside a heated training session.
You get out of my house!
And the reforms that Walter Wallace Jr.'s family demands.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.